Hello, friends. Sorry, I just got a text from Ranger. Hi, everybody. We are going to attempt to do some mermaid waves today. New triple barrel curling iron. I will link it below. It doesn't have a name on it, so I will link it. I got it on Amazon, and it was actually pretty cheap. So let's see what this looks like. How about that? So I'm going to start with just any dry shampoo. This just came in like a little kit. Ooh, that's white. Then I'm gonna take some volume, any kind of root volume spray. This is living proof. Spray a little in my roots. I did my hair like this the other day and my kids were like, what are you doing? So I thought it turned out really good. And like 97% of you said you wanted to see it. There were 3% of people who said they did not, so sorry about your luck. Okay, so I'm actually gonna put up the top part and do the bottom layer first. So just take like the top section of your hair. Kind of wrap that up. And I kind of cheated during this quarantine and I had my friend come to my house and do my hair, so that's why it looks different. I didn't go to the salon, but I cheated. Okay, I know a lot of people are very upset about their hairdressers. My mom is one of them. She's like, why can you go to the store and buy alcohol, but you can't get your hair done? So, sorry, Mom. Okay, so you're just gonna take this, and what I've learned is when you do it, you need to do it at an angle, kind of towards your face. Just, you're gonna hold each of these for just a few seconds, and then move it down. Pretty cool. And I was born in the 80s, so a lot of you younger kids might not know what a crimper is. But we used to have these really cool crimpers. And they had really teeny tiny, it was like a flat iron, but what am I trying to say? Jagged edges, I guess, that crimped your hair. How are you guys doing during this whole stay at home? I think it's almost over. Still praying for everybody who is sick or knows somebody sick or who are healthcare workers, our first responders, everybody who is on the front lines. Thank you for what you do. So bottom layer is finished, and then I'm just gonna take down the top layer and do the top layer. I should have said goodbye to my stepdad when I first started this hair tutorial because he watches all my Arise with Ambers. But then as soon as I start doing hair or makeup, he gets up and leaves. So I should have been like, bye. Hey, but I appreciate all of you guys who stick around, because some of you guys say y'all stick around while I do my hair and do my makeup. Thanks. Ain't no shame in that, fellas. You might learn where to get a cool curling iron for your wife or for your girlfriend. Somebody's coming in. That's nobody. A little spirit coming in here. A little spirit coming to visit. What's up, bud?
I just need to tell you something.
Okay, tell me. Hi, it's okay.
Turn it off.
Hold please, we'll be right back. Bye. Okay, he just needed to ask if he could have a blow pop. Let me know any other hair. Hi. What are you doing?
I need to tell you something like, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
In my ear?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is really hot. I don't want to burn you.
1, 2, 3 on it.
What? It's a new curling iron. It's gonna do like mermaid waves. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how, because it goes up and down, up and down.
That's right. Come here, come to this ear.
Okay.
Close the door.
How old are you?
Like 26. Bye. Okay, so he had to ask if he could watch YouTube. But they always turn it on like 100 volume. I think I was saying, if you guys want to see any hair tutorials, any makeup tutorials, any different looks, I'm happy to try those for you. I'm not a pro, but hey, I always gotta try new things, right? Some people ask what I ask for when I do my hair. This time I asked for balayage, which is more hair painting, and I asked for lighter around my face, darker at my root, just because I don't like the maintenance and I think it looks more natural. I don't like the maintenance of having to highlight it all the time. So lighter around the face. And then I think I said it in my last tutorial, I don't wash my hair every day. I wash it about every 3 days. And I don't blow dry it, hardly ever. And I use leave-in conditioner, purple shampoo, and Olaplex if I'm feeling like dry. And I'll link all that stuff on my Like to Know It. If you don't follow me on Like to Know It, go to that app, download that app. It's an app where you can shop people's screenshots and shop their looks, shoes, clothes, makeup, homeware, anything like that. I think it's very awesome because it takes you directly to the link so you can buy it. You don't have to go searching for it. It's really cool. Okay, let's do maybe this guy one more time. I'm left-handed, but I do everything with my right hand. Anybody else do that? The only thing I do with my left hand is eat and write. And somebody else asked on my Instagram, Granger and I are both left-handed. Are any of our children left-handed? No. Hi, you wanna come into my hair tutorial?
I'm about left-handed people.
Hey, we were talking about being left-handed.
I just couldn't get my boots.
See, guys should have stuck around and they could have talked to G. But guys always leave when I do my hair and my makeup. So all you guys that are still watching.
I'm going to the farm, love you.
Love you, bye. Love you. Probably going to film more of his truck videos. Are you guys liking his truck videos? Restoring Earl's truck. I know that's been really cathartic for him to go be able to do that. We also just did his podcast, which will be out Monday. So you're watching this on Sunday, it'll be a podcast on Monday. And I was his special guest and we were talking about signs from above, any signs that you've seen from God. That is on the Granger channel. You can go check that out on the Granger channel. Okay, there we are with my mermaid waves, y'all. My kids say I look like a lion. This piece right here is giving me trouble though. Let's figure out why. It's because it's super blonde, so it's kind of dry. Okay, so we're gonna kind of spray this jazz. I think it's just a fun little different look. I will link it below. And this actually stays for a couple days too. Like I slept in this and it was good for 2 days. My mother-in-law told me I need to open up a window or a door so I'm not breathing in aerosol. So thank you, Jazz. I will try to remember to do that next time. Okay, let's go do our Rise with Amber. So I guess maybe I'll play this at the beginning of our Rise with Amber. Let's go talk about all the things. Thank you for watching. What's up, my risers? It is a very windy day here in Texas. I don't know if I'm gonna put the hair tutorial at the beginning of this or at the end of this, but we're gonna do this today. So if it's at the beginning, you would have already watched it, so that's not gonna make sense. I don't know. Anyway, we did this hair tutorial today, this little mermaid tutorial. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on another episode of A Rise with Amber. Thank you for, as I always say, being on this journey with me. I'm a little fired up this morning. I did the podcast with Granger and we were talking about signs from heaven, and Lincoln had a really good dream the other night about River, which was full of hope, and he told Lincoln all about, I guess I need to share it with you guys because some of you that are on YouTube do not follow me on Instagram. But we also talked about this in our last Smiths episode. Lincoln had a dream about River. River came to him in the dream. He told him all about heaven. He told him that God was fun. He talked about the night of the accident and being by the pool and CPR, and he told Lincoln he woke up from CPR. And that gives me so much hope. He told him a lot of other things that I'll be sharing with you later that give me tons of hope. And I hope you guys have signs and dreams from your loved ones as well. But yeah, so I'm just fired up. I also started a petition. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. Granger and I have been talking about how we feel like it should be a law, it should be a requirement to have, if you have a pool, to have a 4-sided 4-foot fence with a lock. We feel like pool builders and home builders should, in the bids of installation and when they're pitching a bid for a pool, that it should include an alarm. So many multiple layers of protection. It's not just one thing that's going to save a child's life. It's all these layers of protection. So I started a petition online to try to move it up to Congress to get a law passed called River's Law. Now I'm going to cry. In memory of River and in memory of all of the little ones that I know who I'm friends with, their moms and their dads, and in memory of them. and I want to protect as many people as we can. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. So if you can, please go sign that petition. I think we need 100,000 signatures. I think you have to be of voting age, so anyone over 18. We need 100,000 signatures within 30 days. I'm confident, I'm praying that we can do it. As of right now, I just put it out like an hour ago. We have over 3,000. Thank you so much. I'm gonna start crying. I'm so grateful for everybody wanting to take on this mission with us and wanting to fight for little kids and wanting, you know what, either way, if it doesn't work, if we don't get this law passed, we're still bringing awareness to the situation. We're still bringing awareness to people to take the necessary steps to hopefully, even if it's not a law, just do it voluntarily. Put a gate in, put a lock in, put an alarm in. It's my mission in life now, guys. Okay, so today, talking about guilt, any kind of guilt, guilt from things that you've done in your past, and how the enemy wants you to feel that, and how you can feel guilt and you can feel shame. And it's good to feel not bad about something that you did in the past. It's good to feel conviction about something. If you've done something wrong in the past and you know it, bring it to the Lord, ask for forgiveness, and He will forgive you. And if you've done something to wrong somebody else, call them, ask for forgiveness. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we regret. We all do things that are not in our best character at times, but God is such a loving God. Please don't ever think that there's anything that you could have done or anything that you've done in your past that He would not forgive you for. He does His best work in people that are broken and damaged and alone and scared and people who feel guilty. So I want to read a devotional today. This is New Morning Mercies by Paul David Tripp. It's one of my favorites. And again, these are long, so bear with me. This is from April 19th. I'm loving all the wind and the wind chimes today. It is grace to not be paralyzed by regret. The cross teaches that you are not stuck, not cursed to pay forever for your past. He sat before me with his head in his hands and kept saying over and over again, I just wish I could have it all back. I just wish I could press a button and do it all over again. I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I could try again, but I can't. He must have said this or something similar to this 10 times. He was incredibly distraught and regretful, and yet in the best spiritual connection he'd ever been in. I really did feel his pain, and I was very happy that he felt it too, because I knew that what he was experiencing was the pain of grace. He was a hard, driven, and demanding man who kept moving forward no matter what and never looked back. He didn't care what trail of destruction he left behind him. He was successful, he knew it, and wanted everyone else to know it too. He had loved his work more than his family, and in the process he had lost both. It was all gone. Sorry, the bug. Family, job, and wealth. He had played the game by himself and for himself and had lost in a big way. But now his eyes were open, and the scene broke his heart. Bankrupt and alone, he looked back with grief at every arrogant moment. It was painful, but it was grace. God was making his eyes see so that he would never go back there again. It's grace to regret. Grace allows you to face your sin, to own it, and to not shift the blame. But it is also grace that forgives what has been exposed. Grace forces you to feel the pain of your regrets, but never asks you to pay for them, because the price has already been paid by Jesus. Colossians 2:14 talks about how the record of debt that stood against us has been canceled by the sacrifice of Jesus. You can look back, but with your burden lifted by forgiving grace. It is good to look back and celebrate the rescue of grace. It is good to mourn the sins of the past. It is not good to be paralyzed by them. Grace lives at the intersection between clarity of sight and hope for the future, and that grace is yours for the taking. You don't have to rewrite your past, making you look more righteous than you ever really were. You can stare the truth in the face because of what Jesus has done for you. You can own what needs to be owned and confess what needs to be confessed, and then move on to live in a new and better way. The same grace that forgives your past empowers you to live in a new way in the future. So look backward and look forward. God's grace enables you to do both, celebrating forgiveness for the past and embracing power for a new and better future. Only God's grace gifts you with peace with your past and hope for your future. So I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you have done. All I know is that give yourself grace because God gives you grace. You are forgiven. If you ask Jesus into your heart and you believe and say it with your mouth, the Holy Spirit resides in you and you are forgiven. Please don't let yourself stay in a place of despair and regret and guilt and shame. Because God's not concerned with who you were. He's concerned with who you are now and who you are going to be, who you are going to become, and who He has created you to be. So please know that. Forgive yourself. I know that's easier said than done. I'm trying to forgive myself for things in my life. I live with a lot of guilt. I live with a lot of regret for certain things. You know, I guess we can go on into mom guilt now, and I know there's dad guilt. From the moment that we think about children, guilt comes into our minds, and it's from the beginning of time, from Adam and Eve. As soon as they sinned against God, guilt came into the world, and it came into motherhood. As soon as we think about children, we can have senses of guilt about things. If we can't get pregnant, we feel guilty. We feel like why is my body not giving me what I was born to do? We feel guilt about being pregnant. We feel guilt about if our pregnancy is going well and our friend is super sick. We feel guilt about our birth plan. You know, if we had to end up having a cesarean rather than a natural birth, and some people say that that's not having a real birth, which, by the way, I've had 3, and yes, it is. We feel guilt for if we can't nurse, if we have to bottle feed. There's nothing wrong with either one of those. You're feeding your baby. Please don't feel guilty about any of that. Diapering, cloth diapering versus disposable diapers, organic versus inorganic food, co-sleeping versus them sleeping in their cribs. There are so many ways that we are meant to feel guilty for raising our children. And all I can say is that you know what's best for your baby, and please don't listen to outside people telling you what they think you should do. It's going to be different for every baby and every mother and every father. How you raise your children is up to you. And as long as you are doing your best and relying on the Lord, you're going to do what's right for your baby. As our children get older, you know, we get past the baby stage, we feel guilty about not playing with them enough, not reading with them enough, giving them too much screen time. You know, sometimes I go to bed at night and I feel guilt. I feel mom guilt. Like I worked too much today. I didn't spend as much time with the kids as I could have. Sometimes I think, you know, if I lose my temper on any given day, is that going to be what they're going to remember? Are they going to remember the one time that mama lost her mind and flipped out? Or are they going to remember the other 50 times where we had so much fun and we cuddled and we laughed and we played? I pray that they remember that. But that's something that we go to bed at night thinking about. And I guess what I can say is, if you're going to bed and you're laying your head on your pillow at night and you're having those concerns about guilt, you're a good parent because you care. You care about messing them up. You care about wanting to spend more time with them. I just don't want you to live in that and feel regret for your day. If maybe you made wrong decisions today. You yelled too much today. You gave them takeout 5 days in a row. You know, it's okay. We have to give ourselves grace and stop comparing our lives to other people that we see on social media, who mainly all people post are highlight reels, and they post amazing crafts that they're doing with their kids and these gourmet dinners. And you know what? It's okay if they ate Doritos and cookies and you ordered pizza because you were tired. You had a long day. That's okay. Give yourself grace. I promise God gives you grace, and your children give you grace. All they want is you. They love you. I'm trying to speak to myself here too because I need to listen to all this. All they want is you. They want their parent. They want who God gave them to take care of them. And, you know, I see memes, funny memes all the time about, you know, if you're in survival mode, just, you know, it's all you're doing to survive, and it's okay if you feed them processed food and they watch screen time all day, as long as you're keeping them alive. Now, you're going to talk about some mom guilt. Think about that for a second. Think about the guilt of that. Our son passed away. You know, and we think we do everything in our power to protect them, and that is a guilt that I will live with for the rest of my life. Sorry, that's shaking. Maybe that's God saying it's okay. That is a guilt that I will live with for the rest of my life. I feel that is a guilt and a feeling that I feel like I failed. every day. And I have to fight that and lean into God and pray for those feelings to go away, to pray for that to get out of my mind, because the devil will creep in and he wants you to feel that. He wants me to feel like a failure because he wants me to turn my back on God. He wants me to say, God took him from you. Why did he do that? Don't trust him. But I'm not. And I encourage you to try not to let the devil in. Try not to let the enemy creep in and give you those thoughts. We do the best job that we know how to do, and terrible things happen. Beautiful and terrible things happen in this world. And I hope that you guys just try to do the best that you can and focus on God when you feel weak. Focus on God when you feel guilt. Focus on God when you feel shame. And know that you are forgiven for everything. Jesus paid the price for all of the sin of this world, all of the death of this world, and someday it will all be gone. There's always an airplane when I film. Someday it'll all be gone. Let me look at my notes and see if there's anything else I want to say. There's just a couple of things I saw. Behind every awesome kid is a mother or father who is worried that they're doing it all wrong, which is true. Try maybe journaling or meditating or talking to a friend or a counselor. If you are feeling sadness or guilt over anything, try talking to God. Forgive yourself for being human, for making mistakes. Choose to connect with your kiddos over control, especially maybe right now with all the stay-at-home stuff and the schoolwork and things like that. If they're having a rough time and you're losing it and you're losing your temper, just shut it down for a little bit. Choose to connect. Go outside together. Turn on some music. Dance. I hear little hummingbirds. I guess the last thing I'll say is, at the end of the day, or even in the middle of the day, just choose to say, Lord, I give this all to you. I can't do this alone, because we can't. As much as we moms and dads think that we might be super mom or super dad, we just can't do it all. We just can't. And we have to say, Lord, I give it all to you. And I just want y'all to know you're enough. You are important. You matter. You're forgiven. And give yourself grace. Every day is not going to be good, but there's something good in every day. I hope you could take something with you from today. I hope I wasn't all over the place. I feel like I was talking kind of fast. I was kind of pumped up today. Had a lot on my mind. Let me know if there's anything you guys want to talk about, anything you want me to do in the next Arise. I read this poem the other day, and this is kind of focused on women. I saw it on Facebook or Instagram or something. I wanted to read it. It says, have you ever noticed how in the scriptures, men are always going up to the mountains to commune with the Lord? First off, let me say this is nothing against men. I'm just trying to speak to my ladies here. Yet in the scriptures, we hardly ever hear of women going to the mountains. And we know why, right? Because the women were too busy keeping their life going. They couldn't abandon babies, meals, homes, fires, gardens, and 1,000 responsibilities to make the climb to the mountains. I was talking to a friend the other day saying that as a modern woman, I feel like I'm never free enough from my responsibilities. Never in a quiet enough or holy enough spot to have the type of communion I want with God. Her response floored me. That is why God comes to women. Men have to climb the mountain to meet God, but God comes to women wherever they are. I've been pondering over her words for weeks and have searched my scriptures to see that what she had said is true. God does indeed come to women. It's all in the scriptures. Where they are doing their ordinary everyday work. He meets them at the wells, where they draw water for their families, in their homes, in their kitchens, in their gardens. He comes to them. As they sit beside sick beds, as they give birth, care for the elderly, and perform necessary mourning and burial rites. Even at the empty tomb, Mary was the first to witness Christ's resurrection. She was there because she was doing the womanly chore of properly preparing Christ's body for burial. In these seemingly mundane and ordinary tasks, these women of the scriptures found themselves face to face with divinity. So if, like me, you ever start to bemoan the fact that you don't have as much time to spend in the mountains with God as you would like, remember God comes to women. He knows where we are and the burdens we carry. He sees us, and if we open our eyes and our hearts, we will see him, even in the most ordinary places and in the most ordinary things. He lives. God God does come to women. You can search all the scriptures, and he seeks out women, but he comes to the men too. And men, guys, boys, he will meet you where you are. I'm not just saying that he only comes to women. That was just a poem that I really liked, or a writing that I really liked. He is here for us. He is here for you. You are chosen. Please go into this week. Have a great week. Check out Granger's podcast tomorrow. On Monday, we're talking about signs from above and signs from heaven. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we always have our Smiths. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. I hope you guys are doing well and staying well and enjoying the time with your family. Let go of your guilt. Put your head on your pillow at night. Say your prayers. Let go and let God. Have a great day.